Welcome back to week four. Week four, we are in Build Your Network, right? So the first couple of weeks, we focused on understanding you, understanding the market, getting prepped, and now we're going to start connecting with people. So if you're shy with connecting with people, you're going to learn all about why it's important to and how to do it. So, what we're going to cover in week four is the hidden job market and how it works. We're going to talk about networking 101. So, simple things like building your elevator pitch, crafting an outreach email. We're going to also talk about LinkedIn, our favorite topic. We're going to talk about building out our LinkedIn profiles as well as building out a personal brand on LinkedIn. So this week is all about connections, having conversations, and everything in between. We're going to start with the hidden job market. So, what is it? What is it? The hidden job market refers to job opportunities that are not advertised publicly anywhere, right? Did you know that 85 to 90% of jobs are not posted anywhere? True story, the last 5 out of the 7 jobs I've had was through my network. Some of them were posted, some of them were not posted. My very first job in corporate, literally, I went to a conference, I spoke to a lot of people, and I spoke to the right person, and he called me the next day and was like, "We haven't even started building out the job description, but you're a perfect fit. Do you want to start on Monday?" A lot of opportunities are found through networking, referrals, and having conversations in the hidden job market. Okay. So, how it works is that companies will fill out these positions through referrals, through networking, internal promotions, and essentially like finding community groups to partner with to get them the right type of candidate. I mean, talk about community groups in the slides to come, but that is going to be a huge part of this process. Okay. Accessing the hidden job market is going to be crucial, right? Because it offers increased opportunities, right? I always call my company Foot in the Door. It really should be called Foot in the Right Door. How do we find the side doors, the back doors that we need to take in rather than the main door where everyone is flooding, right? There's less competition through those side doors, and you're able to assess, employer employee fit a little bit better when you're going through those side channels, right? And also, the hidden job markets allows you to tap into building your network, right? Your personal brand, having conversations, learning about your field, right? That's going to be really, really important. So, what are the basics, right? What is networking? What is the purpose? And how do we even do it, right? Networking is a powerful tool, right? It's a tool that helps us to build relationships so that we can expand our professional circle, and essentially look for opportunities, but also build on the opportunities we have, right? I'll tell you a quick story. When I started my the last job that I had, I was leading a team. I was leading a career center. I had never done that before. So I did outreach to um, about 4 or 5 different managers and leaders of other career centers from other schools and universities. And I asked them for a coffee chat. I said, "Hey, I'm new in this role. I've never run a career center before for graduate students. I see that you're running one at Schulich or you're running one at Rotman. Can you sit down with me?" I had about 3 or 4 people sit down with me. They told me what they were working on. We were further ahead on some things. They were further ahead on some things. And I was able to really build up my department. That's networking. I think a lot of people relegate it to just, I'm looking for a job. That's why I need to build my network. Even after you have a job, even after you've gotten that first promotion, you always need people, professionals in your network. Obviously you can use it to get a job, right? What is the purpose of networking? I just gave you a very short example, but really truly the purpose of networking is always going to be to simply learn. That's it. The minute we start getting into this weird transactional relationships, we lose the feeling of networking, right? Networking is all about learning about a person, learning about an industry, learning about a new area, learning about a role, about how to do something. That's the purpose of networking, right? Another huge purpose of networking at this point is to validate our research, right? So in week 2, we spent a bunch of time looking at industries out there doing that career research. Is now really important to line it up to see if it relates to what is actually happening in the real world, right? We don't want a situation where, what I ordered versus what I got are different. We want them to line up. Okay. And then how do you do this networking? I have a really quick framework called ICF: introduction, conversation, follow up. Very, very straightforward. Don't overthink it. So we're going to start with introduction, right? Introduction is probably the most important aspect of networking, right? How many times have we gone into situations where we've done outreach and we get completely ghosted? People just don't respond back to us. If you have a bad introduction, people are not going to know how to respond back to you. Therefore, they're not going to respond. They have no obligation to respond. So having a strong introduction is going to be extremely important, right? There are two main different ways that you can introduce yourself, either with an elevator pitch or with an outreach email, right? Elevator pitch is obviously more in person. So if you're at a conference, if you're at an event, in person, elevator pitch. If you're online, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're reaching out to people via email, outreach is something that you're wanting to do, right? The formula is the exact same for both of those environments. You're asking 3 questions. And if you remember, these 3 questions are related to your first, opportunity, your first resume. Who are you? What have you done? And what are you looking for? Who are you is your education, your professional background. What have you done are your experiences, and what are you looking for is what you're looking to get out of this conversation, right? So a quick example here is, my name is Ibiemi, and I'm a career transition coach. I have a background in recruitment, but transitioned into coaching about 6 years ago. I'm currently a full-time entrepreneur, launching a career transition program for mid-career professionals this fall, and I want to connect with other career transitioners like me. Very straightforward. Who am I? Career transition coach. What have I done? Background in recruitment, transition to coaching. What am I doing now? Currently a full-time entrepreneur launching a career transition program, looking for mid-career professionals. That's it, right? Very, very straightforward way to go through this networking process. Obviously, you guys are looking for jobs, so you would modify that for yourself. Okay, the next is conversation. The key to a successful conversation is being present, right? I have sometimes people come to me, how do I prepare for a coffee chat? And I'm like, how do you prepare for a conversation? You can't prepare so much for a conversation because the other person has to speak. If you're trying to go into that conversation, trying to impress somebody or trying to figure out what they're going to say so that you can have the best answers, then you're going in for the wrong reasons. The purpose of the conversation is to learn. If you knew, then you wouldn't need to learn. So it's really important to understand how to go into this conversation, right? Purpose is to learn. So you definitely want to identify what you want to learn. So that's one way that you can prepare. Identify what you want to learn. Do you want to learn about the industry? Do you want to learn about the role? Do you want to learn about how someone got started in that space? Do you want to learn about someone's, transition? Do you want to learn about someone's satisfaction levels so that you can gauge whether or not it's something you're going to be interested in? These are the things that you need to prepare beforehand. Just what do I want to learn? Okay. Then they also need to know who you are. So you have to be prepared to tell your story, right? You don't have to go through your entire elevator pitch, your entire story, but you should have some story that they can connect with and they can kind of see where you are so far in the transition process. And then lastly, you want to exchange value. This is action items after the call. You can either leverage another introduction, you can leverage a referral, you can ask for information, you can ask for connections, you can even collaborate on interesting stuff if you do any kind of side hustle on the side, right? It's really, really important to do all of that kind of stuff. And then the last point of networking is the follow up. This is the part that most people don't do. The relationship happens in the follow up. That first initial elevator pitch, the coffee chat, that's fantastic. You're going to learn. How do you then build and cultivate that relationship? Follow up, right? You touch base after the call happened via message saying, thank you so much. And then we highlight whatever the action item was. And then you can add some type of timeline to it as well. And then what's really important, you follow through on the action item. I can't tell you how many times people reach out to me on LinkedIn and they're like, I need help with XYZ. And I'm like, okay, amazing. Let's have a conversation. I sent them my link to book, and then they never book a call. And then they're the same people that will go online. People are ghosting me all the time. We never get things done, but you didn't follow up and book the actual call. I see this happen all the time. Follow through is something that people don't do, and they don't typically do it. They're not organized, right? So here's a quick example. Hi, Shayi. It was lovely getting to know you. I had no idea that consulting industry involved travel. That seems like a plus to me. So you're recalling something you talked about in the conversation. As promised, here's the article I read that I thought speaks to why so many millennials are burning out. Amazing. That's the action item we discussed. Okay. Or the thing that you want to share. Okay. I'm looking forward to getting Tala's contact. As you mentioned, she'd be a great person to chat with about getting into Accenture. Boom. That's their action item. So you're reminding them of their action item, and then you're following through on your action item, all in one beautiful message. And that's where the relationship starts and continues, right? Every single time you have a call, you follow up like this. Every time you send some action items, you add more action items, you go back and forth, right? That's how you build that relationship in a professional manner. Okay. So, where do you find these people, right? Where do you find these people? How do you actually build this network? Signing up for newsletters is going to be really important. I have a section here with 33 different newsletters, depending on your industry, that you can check out. Joining communities is going to be really, really important as well. Attending events, and obviously leveraging social media. These are the 4 places that you're going to find people that are in your network, right? I remember wanting to transition into tech sales at one point. I found a group specifically for Black women in tech sales, and it was phenomenal. They introduced me to so many different people. I learned about how to do, quantitative sales and quota-based sales, and understanding how CRMs work and all these different things, up until the point where I even got interviews with like Salesforce and Twitter and LinkedIn. Ultimately decided I didn't want to go down the path of tech sales, but because of this one community, I was able to learn so much and actually leverage their networks to transition. Even though I didn't end up going down that route, it was such a good community to join. Till today, these women are some of my closest friends. Okay. LinkedIn is going to be something we're going to be talking about for the next couple of minutes. Leveraging LinkedIn is going to be amazing because this is where you can find those individuals. This is where you can find those communities. This is where you can find those newsletters. It's basically your one-stop shop for everything we've spoken about, right? We're going to use it for research. We're going to use it to network, to find job opportunities and leads. And we're going to use it for our personal brand, as well as just networking to learn from other people. Okay. So your first action item is to build out your LinkedIn profile. You want to make sure that it's optimized, right? I have an amazing template in there to help you with LinkedIn optimization. All you have to do is fill out the template. We will go over it in our coaching call, and then we'll be able to kind of upload your LinkedIn profile. Okay. The next step is building your elevator pitch. Page 2 of the LinkedIn template has a section where you can include more information about your elevator pitch, and this is how you build it up. Okay. The next thing we want to do is we want to sign up for this app called Teal. So Teal is a job tracking app, but it can also track your network. We're going to talk about it a lot more in the coaching session, but because you are members of the Career Transition Accelerator program, we have a complimentary month for you to go through and use Teal on us. We will talk about exactly how to use it and how to track your contacts through it. Okay. This is where I talked about those community groups. I have a list of 33 industry community networks. These are um, groups that focus on specific areas. So some groups are like women in tech, some are Black accountants, some are, whoever and whatever. People in HR, people looking to transition to data science. There's lots of different groups in here. So you can check this out. So now let's come to the second half of this, which is about building your personal brand, right? It's not just about doing outreach and reaching out and having conversations. It's also about building up thought leadership. It's really important as someone that's looking for a job to notify the market that you're looking for a job. I can't tell you how many times people are like, oh, I'll just wait until I get a job to update my LinkedIn to tell people I have a job. How are people going to know to send you opportunities and tag you in posts and share new roles if they don't know you're looking? Kind of like a catch 22, right? We want to make sure that we're putting ourselves out there. A lot of people have a lot of hesitation. Well, what if my bosses know and this, that, and the other? Well, guess what? It's your LinkedIn profile. You can, and I say this with a grain of salt, depending on the organization you work for, you can unfollow your boss. At the end of the day, this is your job search. This is your LinkedIn profile that is not tied to a company, right? Or people have hesitations around negative comments. LinkedIn is not Instagram, it's not Twitter. There's not a lot of viciousness happening on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a safe space, right? You have a lot of people worried about what to say. This is what we're going to talk about in the personal brand, right? You want to identify what you want to talk about. You want to determine guidelines around putting out content, and then you want to optimize with technology, right? Very quickly identifying what to say. Pick 3 to 4 topics of interest in what it is that you are looking to transition into, right? So you can either talk about your current skills and experiences, or you can talk about the industry you're looking to do. But storytelling is going to be really important in this process. You don't want to just say, these are my skills, hire me. You want to talk about how you built up a skill, how you applied it, and why it's relevant, and why other people should take advantage. Like, it's a conversation, it's a storytelling method. It's not just like rote telling people what to do, right? You want to make sure that you determine some brand guidelines. Again, it doesn't have to be a fancy brand. It can literally just be, we post 3 times a week. We have, anytime we're posting tweet pics, we're posting it with this color. Just again, simple things to make sure that you're optimizing. And then lastly, with technology. Canva is a great tool to build out little icons and things like that. Calendly is great for booking meetings with people, coffee chats. There's nothing worse than trying to schedule and you're going back and forth with a stranger online versus reaching out to someone saying, hey, this is who I am. I would love to chat with you. I know you're busy, so I have my open availability link. Feel free to choose a time that works best for you. I want to make sure that this works for both of us. It's very simple. You're not saying, hey, put yourself in my calendar, like pencil yourself in. That's a bit arrogant. But you're saying, hey, I've created this opportunity for us to use technology to help the scheduling process, right? Grammarly is fantastic. There's nothing like having typos in the messages that you're sending out. And then lastly, Text Expander allows you to create templates. And I'll show you a little bit more about that in our coaching session on Saturday. So the next action item is to use the personal branding template to fill out all of the things that you need to get prepared on building that personal brand. And that is it. Those are the action items for the week. Build your LinkedIn profile. That is going to be the most important. Then under your second tab of that document, you're going to build your elevator pitch, right? Then I want you to do some outreach, right? We're no longer in the thinking strategy phase. We're in the action phase. I want you to connect with 20 people in your industry that you're looking to go into, right? I want you to schedule at least 5 coffee chats. This means you're probably going to do outreach to 10 to 20 different people, right? Average outreach, average response rate is 10 to 20%. So if you reach out to 10 people, 1 or 2 people are going to respond to you. So if we're doing the math, if we want to get 5 coffee chats, we need to reach out to 10 to 15 different people, okay? You want to join at least 2 community groups, right? 2 community groups, and then you want to put together your personal branding template. Again, we're not sort of jumping personal branding, we're just putting together a plan for it. See you in our weekly coaching call. We'll go over LinkedIn, personal branding, networking, all the things to answer every single one of your questions, and we'll address anything that you have that is pressing or becoming an issue. So much, and see you in week 5. Bye.